This week's sponsors are Kennedy Consultant Services Limited, specialised in the supply of temporary and permanent staff into the following industry sectors: construction, demolition, engineering, property, asbestos, warehousing, logistics, driving, hospitality and leisure, catering, events, customer service and administration. For all information, please look in the description and give them a follow. Thanks.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Billy Moore podcast, and today's special guest is none other than Hatchett. This is a part 2. How are you, mate?
I'm good, man, good. Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for coming back on. So tell me a little bit about what's been going on since we last had our chat. That was over a year ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, coming out a year, was it? So yeah, I remember it. So October, it's been a year. I had the fight, I won, luckily, big learning experience. You can hit the pads as hard, as fast as you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Suicide, geezer who I spoke with in the ring after. I don't know if you see it. He said, when you're in that ring, and you'll know this, it's a lonely place. Yeah. It's a lonely place in that ring. Do you know what I mean? That third round, I was walking into that fight. Yeah. I was fit. I was decently fit. Do you know what I mean? I was decently fit in that. Yeah. I could go rounds in training sparring. I could go. Yeah, but. Mate, I was just even when I was warming up and that, first 30 seconds that first round, I was zapped, bro. And I was like, I've got no energy. He knocked me down in a second. I was, lucky enough to get up and drop him. Going into the third, I knew I was confident. I knew I got the win. So that was good. That was like my mission.
See, because I first heard about you when James English shared your story on his podcast, and. The title was From Boxing to Broadmoor. Yeah. Or From Broadmoor, to Boxing.
Yeah. And
I thought, wow, this kid's got to come on and tell me a story. I want to listen to it from my point of view.
Yeah.
And how he's achieved this. And you actually had the fight and you won.
That's it, yeah.
But it zapped you.
Zapped me, man. It zapped me, bro. Right? Honestly, but it's a massive learning experience. I thought I was just going to do that fight and leave it there. Somehow now I've fallen into the bare knuckle. I've signed under the BFBA 3-fight contract. I don't do myself some favours sometimes. I've gone after Chazza Real Talk, aka All Talk. I've gone after him straight away. Yeah. We've got a little bit of history that hasn't come out to light yet. BFBA have now signed him. Do you know Chazza?
No.
He's like Dapper Laugh's best mate. He was in the Rise of the Foot Soldiers. Big following, quality, good ex-pro boxer, very good. Trains like Conor Ben and all them boys. You know what I mean? So, he's a bit heavier. I'm going to have to go up to 75. But we're looking to fight in February.
So what age are you now?
32.
So you're still only young, you're in your prime.
Youngish. But yeah.
Tell you what, lads, when I was 32, I know what I was doing, you know what I mean? I was fucking still in the ring.
Yeah.
And I knew he had the energy to fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're pretty young.
No,
in comparison to me, to be fair.
How old you know?
Well, I'm 48.
Fuck, I might be getting on, mate.
Yeah, I'm an arm man. I can feel it as well, mate. Tell me about it. So what was right? So one of the callers, we were talking about positive mental attitude. You were at the PMA. There was a lot going on for you back then.
Yeah.
You were recently out of the shovel, so you hadn't been out of prison long.
I think we did. It was about. I think we spoke about it, didn't we? I think it was about a few months or something. I've been out because I've done the James English. And obviously, I'm in the podcast, done great numbers. I do really good numbers. And then, a lot of shows I went on yours. Got good numbers on yours. Yeah, and we spoke about positivity. For me, it was all law of attraction. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We spoke about that. I had a vision in my head. You got to admit, that fight was more than just a fight. Yeah, it was an unlicensed fight. People do it all the time. But to me, it had a bigger meaning. To me, there was a massive message behind that. When I had that vision, that gold dream in my head, Billy, I was serving 9 months segregation for plotting to take Ian Brady hostage in Ashworth, which we're in Liverpool. Ashworth's not even far from here, innit? So, no. I was an indefinite sentence. I know Peter Conline, how can you do life? Listen, my sentence was section 3741. I know you've had Tony on. If we had Tony here, it would be had to explain. It's like an IPP, you know what IPP?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, so basically my sentence was It's indefinite. What's indefinite? Definite's life, yeah? I think when people hear their life, they're like, how have you got out after 10 years? The thing is, my sentence was indefinite. I had no release date, yeah? If I kept fucking about and I kept doing this, I'd still be in now. They can hold you till you're dead. To me, that's a life sentence, yeah?
99-year sentence.
There you go. That's what it is. If that's not life, you don't think that's life, that's your opinion, yeah? You got to go through a tribunal. Now, a tribunal is like a parole. Exactly the same. You got to sit there with I never went for parole in prison. I went up for tribunal. So on the parole board, you know, you got a judge in the tribunal. You got a judge, you got a doctor, and you got like a member of the public. I think they're like someone with good status, you know, clean criminal record. Do you know what I mean? Someone of that sort of nature. You know, and I had 3 of them. I lost 2 on my 3rd one in 2010. In my head, I knew I was going to win it. I said that. I claimed it when I had that vision in my head. I just knew I knew 2010 I'd be getting that. I knew then, not 2010, I wish I got out in 2010. That's when I went away in 2010. 2020, I knew I'd be getting out. 2020, I always just had a little thing in my head, 2020. Do you know what I mean? I just knew. Yeah. I don't know what it was. There's always something about 2020. Like when I went for them 2 other tribunals, or 3 others, 3 before actually, because I had the one in Broadmoor, I just knew I wasn't going to win them. Do you know what I mean? When you go in there, you're sitting there, like I'm trying to speak my case, but I don't even believe it myself. I already know that they're not going to let me out. Do you get what I mean? But with the 2020, I just knew I had, do you know what I'm saying? I just knew in my head that I'd be getting released. And I knew I could do what these things, the universe will align it for me. It did. And, you know, and a special shout out to people such as yourself. James English, massive one for James English. Do you know what I mean? I would have hit the scene anyway, coming on for the Amazon documentary, would have been after. But with James, you know, he gave me a massive platform. Do you know what I mean? Put my name out there.
How's that getting on the documentary, the Amazon? Is it? Because I haven't read nothing like.
Yeah, it's done, but it's done, isn't it? It's out, obviously it's out of my hands now. You know, Liam Galvin, who saw the vision when I was away. You know, 2 years in prison, we stayed in touch. You know, he's the one done he's the one done documentary with Carlton Leach and all that.
What's the process anyway? So what's the story? Where's the beginning? Where's the middle? What's the end? What's the outcome?
With the beginning, I actually met up with Liam a few times when I was on release, day relief. So yes, we stayed in touch. We've done little bits of content and that there, but mostly it's about the day that I got out leading up to the fight. It's road to redemption. Yeah. You know, this boxing fight was more than just an unlicensed boxing fight. It was like, you know, PTAW, proving me wrong, like doing something that people said you couldn't do. That was the message behind this documentary, you know. A lot, it's been a roller coaster since I've been out, you know, all the YouTube stuff, you know, relationships. Do you know what I mean? I've had a couple of, I had a high profile relationship. I'm engaged now, shout out. You know, it's been mad, and a lot of that's been filmed. A lot of that's going to show. You know, shout out to Liam Galvin. He's the one who's done the documentaries. People like Carlton Leach, he did his documentary. He's done a lot with Dave Courtney. So, you know, it's just a matter of process now. I think what we're going to do, I think with the boxing, I think we're going to add an idea. I think I want to add the bare knuckle. Obviously, the bare knuckle fight's in 2 weeks. I don't know when this is going out, but 11th of December, you know, so...
Tell me,
I think that's going to be added to the Amazon.
Here's a question for you, right? Now, tell me, how's how have you been, right? So, you get in, you're away for a decade.
Yeah.
You're in probably one of the most austere prisons, or incarcerated in fucking Ashford and all that Broadmoor.
Yeah.
How have you been since you've been out? Because I only met you in the early days.
Yeah.
So, within over a year, give or take, how's your mental health?
Do you know what, really? Straight up. You know, I'm not care what I say to an extent because I'm still licensed. Got my parole on the 17th. Hopefully I become off that. So, but it hasn't been easy, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I've had the relationships. You know, getting out when your name gets known and things. Do you know what I mean? You go out and, you know, people just want to sort of be near because you sort of like you start getting a bit known. But then just adjusting, bro. Like saying away from 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Everything was done for you. Everything was done for me. Do you know what I mean? Like the only one thing I was always struggling with is I want to get out. I want to be out. I want to be out. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you've got that, then it's trying to come out, it's trying to manage your finances, which can be bad. You know, trying to budget, trying to learn, you know, staying bad. Because you got to remember, I come out to lockdown as well, do you remember? So, because when I come out to Liverpool, it was fucking completely locked. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like, so I've come from, I met Harvey from So Solid Crew, he was on live on his Instagram, he was like, Ben Hatchett, he goes, He goes, this guy come out from lock up to lock down. Do you know what I mean? So he's like, I didn't come out into sort of how it was. Nah, I come out, so I still haven't been able to get the basics done, which frustrates me, you know, because I'm always trying to get a routine. Like I haven't been able to sit and do my drive and that yet. You know, only now I've recently found a bit of part-time work up in Scotland. You know, shout out Stuart Dempsey, you know, and shout out to all the team up in Scotland, man. You know, starting to find myself a lot in Edinburgh now. You know, and I think that's why the move after my parole on the 17th of December is I'm definitely like looking at I'm gonna be moving to Edinburgh. You know what I mean? I'm engaged in that now. I never thought that would happen. But you know, when you click with someone, it's mad.
So a lot's happened in that year, like.
I know it's happening, innit? You know what I mean? Like, we could do a part 3 on it all, bro.
But you've had a podcast that you set up. How did that work out for you?
Decent. I got some big. No, I did well, mate. I got some good names on. You know, shout out to all the guests that I had on. You know, it's a shame. Do you know what, Billy? I think it's something you said actually when we did the part 1. I think it wasn't actually on the camera. I think we was getting the elevator going back down, whatever. And you said like it's therapeutic, and actually stuck with me. It was actually you and James that inspired me to do the podcast. I took a lot of my inspiration from James, like guest wise, but it was you actually kind of triggered it. I liked what you said about it's quite therapeutic doing it, because I think when I did one with James, I did it with you, I found it therapeutic with the Amazon stuff. Because I met a lot of people that haven't been out, like people like Kay Coke, Joe Egan, Dave Courtney, and there's a lot of actually people that I've filmed with. That's not on the YouTube podcast. That's part of the documentary. And meeting these people and having this conversation, it was like therapeutic. So when you sort of said that, it was like, it is therapeutic, and I liked it. And that's sort of why I wanted to sort of, you know, carry it on. And I enjoyed it. I met some amazing people. You know, I am gutted, but, you know, I had a cameraman trying to finance that, and then travelling. Because, you know, when you start out, you had to travel back, especially the guests I was getting like, you know, I was getting celebrities. So why are these people going to travel all the way down to Hastings to come and do me, when really, well and truly, they're doing me a favour, if anything? Do you get what I mean? Just a lot more went into it than was ever coming out. And
yeah, it's not as easy as, you know, as just setting up a camera.
It's not. It's really,
there's a lot of logistics behind it, and travelling, and, you know, your financial problems that creep into your life with it all. Yeah,
and that's what it was me. Just a lot more was going into it than ever coming out of it. You know, it's not saying it was about the money, but you know what I mean, you got my situation, I'm a benefit, I live in a sanctuary house, and do you get what I'm sort of saying? So yeah, but and I think we're stressing that as well.
Hopefully, like for the future, when you've settled, and because you've got a platform now and you've set one up, so you know, going forward, you could probably, you know, because you said something. I'm sure you said to me that you weren't doing your podcast anymore. Have you had a bit of a love and hate relationship with YouTube and?
Kind of, you know, I've been, you know, I got severely trouble when I got into the beef with a certain character. We all know what I'm talking about. Well, you know, most people know, you know, my name went through the trolling. Do you know what I mean? Before that, I've never been trolled. Never got trolled. You know, come off the back of James, come off the back of you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Never get trolled. I wanted to fight this guy for charity. Live streamed it when I set it up in lockdown. You know, it didn't work out. It fell apart. Kind of trolled me out. We got into a bit of beef over it. Miscommunication the first time. The first time around, it was like miscommunication. Second time around, at the end of my fight, I called him out in the ring and all that lot. He took offensive. It wasn't meant to be him in malice. It was meant to sort of vibe it up. We could have got it, but you know, and then a lot of trolling that started after that. So, and you got a lot of creeps now online. You got these weird fake account ones and that as well, man. Just chat bare shit. Like they take all our content and that as well. Like you know what I'm on about, and they're like clickbait us and all that. Because my name, your name, Jane's name, Sean's, his, Decker's, Darren's, In's, all these people's names. There's this sort of like Marvin and that. All our sort of names, like someone could do a video and about whatever, and it will get the fuck all views. If they added one of our names and that into it, it's quick clickbait, so we get the views.
I've seen all that, and to be honest, I've kind of looked into how that works, and you end up with a toxic following. Yeah. You know, when you start clickbaiting and clout chasing, you end up with a toxic following. Yeah. And I believe that I've got a positive platform, and I believe that you know, the people that comment are all positive, and if they're not, they can, you know, see you later.
Yeah, mate. You see a lot of you, mate. You see
it's
a lot
great.
of time.
No, it could, you know, you could very well go down that road and start like looking for views and chasing views and comments. But for me, I feel what's more important is carrying a positive message. You know, people say, why don't you react to this and why don't you react to that? I'll tell you why I don't, because I'm normal. Yeah. You know, and I've grown up I'm quite mature in the way I deliver stuff, and I don't let that kind of sense how I feel. It doesn't really affect me, and I haven't got any, it doesn't make an impact in what I do.
Yeah.
If it did, see, look, you've got to understand, I'm quite, I'm quite mature in my years now.
Do you know what I mean? And I think with me, it was the maturity of me that I went down that path, mate. Still sort of clowning, doing reactions. Do you know what I mean? I let myself down a lot of time. Like I say, it's been up and down. Like
no, it's a learning.
For me,
I'm not here being.
I went down that path. I did just clickbait to an extent. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
but it got me. I've been struggling with my emotions and that as well since I've been. I'm up and I've been up and down the relationship breakups and overall struggling. There's a special person out there who's helped me more than they know they are. I didn't have them. I didn't have them solid sort of friends down there that I could speak to. That's what I feel with people coming out of nothing, no one, man. Like it's difficult, because the system don't really give you that much support.
No.
For me, if I could start again coming off the back of James and you, I probably would. I would have gone to YouTube differently.
What I'm saying, mate,
I did well.
It's not in any way condescending. Yeah. It's more about it's a learning curve, right? I've made many mistakes. And we erase them mistakes and we start again. That's why they put rubbers on the end of pencils. We could just rub that out and we'll just start again. Pick ourselves up, dust ourselves down and carry on, right? This is what we were talking about before in the car, about perseverance and resilience and turning up. When things are tough and people are shutting doors and refusing you and rejecting you, and you've got something worthy of talking about or sharing or of value, then stick with it. And that's that for me. I had many falls on my journey, so I can't really say fucking anything, to be fair. I just like to share a bit of my experience. And I think it's, I've seen some of the stuff you've done, and I believe you've got a really good message to carry, and it's positive, especially for the younger generation. See, I'm not gonna sort of I'm not delivering mine. It's quite diverse, but you going up, and coming on and delivering something to kids who are on the verge of fucking criminality. There's a message from you,
and that's what I want to get back to, Billy. Do you know what I mean? That law of attraction, because
you were involved in the knife crime stuff as well.
I was doing the things. It was just I fizzled out again. It was just on timing, doing this, trying to do that, trying to do too much too once. Then I was here, there, everywhere. I was burning myself out. I was getting emotional. Do you know what I mean? I'm in the boozes and that after. Do you know what I mean? Struggling, trying to get ready for a fight. Kept moving the fight. Honestly, man, I just completely struggled. My attention's always been good. My heart's always been there. I haven't always made the best decisions, but I've not intentionally gone out to hurt people, piss people off, or do anything. Do you know what I mean? I've just been learning, like you're saying, learning curve. I'm still learning. You got to remember, I was incarcerated for 10 years. So do you know what I mean? I spent probably altogether, best bit of 2 years in segregation that time. Do you know what I mean? Longest was obviously the 9 months at once for the Brady hostage, but others was broken up. But that's you need to do something. Like you're saying, you did the Thai prison. I've seen the film. I'm sure most of your followers have seen the film. When you've been through these things, and when you've been through hell, because Broadmoor's hell, bro. I don't give a fuck. Anyone says Broadmoor's hell, yeah. And you tell a 21-year-old you don't know when you're going home. Come on, man. Do you know what I mean? It fucks your head. And then you get medicated. You get this. I do have mental health, and I'm open about that. I'm very open about my mental health. Far from normal. I'm very emotionally struggle. But the thing is, my heart is good. I want to try and I want to learn. I try. I'm not always getting it right, but I want to try it. But the thing I really want to promote to the younger generation, and I do feel like I've got a powerful message. I'm not being big at it, but I do. Because I can connect with the kids. One, because they're Asian, maybe one as well, how I look, and trying to sort of connect with them. Especially the ones that have been through the care, have been through the fucked up or been bullied. Do you know what I mean? They're sort of on that verge, when you've been bullied or you get into it and you want to start being that criminal. For me, I want to promote that law of attraction. And I think I've done well. And I did get caught up with YouTube reviews and beefing in, reaction videos. Numbers in the thousands going down. I want them big thousands again.
This is something I'm going to put to you now, right? And I've shared this before, right? So, you like to fight, you like to box, right? So you get in the ring with an opponent. He doesn't tear up.
Yeah.
Who you left in that ring with?
Yourself.
Right. Who you fighting?
Yourself.
Right. So no, you're not. You're fighting no one. Right. You're fighting no one. So what happens is you get in this ring, this arena, right? You're fighting with an opponent, right? It's just constant battling, constant battling, right? So I got told, you know, by someone who was quite wise in his years and had plenty of wisdom, don't get in that ring, right? And if he doesn't get in that ring, there's no fight.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like the reaction and all that stuff. That is something you can learn from. It's not something that you know, you don't need to beat yourself up over it. It happens, yeah. You know, it's great. I'd love to get like mega views. It'd be fucking fabulous to have all that. But the reality of it is, I'd have all those toxic followers as well.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I don't want that.
No, that's the part of the circle. You know what? I definitely learned, and then you know, people getting into the podcast now, I can take it and learn from it. You know, I know where I want to go on my channel now. I know I want to just, you know, after these fights, you know, I'm going to put some clips out about stories when I was away in Ashworth and Broadmoor, and, you know, doing little ones.
People have always asked me what was Ben away for? Ben's changed his name from Ben Hatchett. What was it
Ben
before?
Woods. Let's do it. We're going in deep. Let's answer some of these questions.
So I never knew your surname was Woods.
No, because I never told you it was my business.
Yeah, it's your business, yeah.
I mean,
I didn't need to know, right?
Yeah.
Now it's come to Ben Wood. What's Ben in for? What was Ben away for? I never even asked you because you know as well as me, right? When we go to prison, when you're in a prison, right? It's like it's not the right thing to be doing. So asking someone on the land what they're in for. I said, what are you in for? Because
So what let's do first. Let's go and let's clear some of these things though, because I see it all and that as well.
Okay.
I don't really respond to it.
So what was your?
It sounds burns people's eyes, but let's get into it. So my name is Ben John Woods. Original. I changed it as I went scanning into Broadmoor. I changed it because, like I say, I'm carrying a guy's name, my dad's name. You know, why am I carrying someone's name if it doesn't be my dad's? Remember, I come up most of my life in the system. Like, why am I carrying this geezer's name? Part of me as well, you know, I do have a sister and that this is the moment in Eastbourne. You know, like Eastbourne's not a big town. Do you know what I mean? Like, you only hear stories of Broadmoor. You got to remember, I was young, naive. I'm thinking, you know, my name, you know. Oh, you're from Eastbourne, that name, you can find that, your family. You know, when you're in a cell, your mind's going to you can over-exaggerate things, you overthink things. So I went for the change. The reason, and I changed it to Hatchett. And there's an ex-girlfriend of mine, my teenager, probably like my childhood sweetheart, Amy. I'm sure she'll watch. I know her mum and that watch. So we did this, when we was 15, yeah, we did this thing with the job centre. So we did this thing with the job centre, allegedly, yeah. Don't edit that bit out. Allegedly, oh, we did these things with the job centre, yeah. Like the month's rents in advance and all that. Like we found like a little loop and we was doing it, and we was using this name, Vinny Hatchett. So I just kind of stood from there, Hatchett, and you know, Lockstar Harry Hatchett, and just you know, I used it a few times as well. Police alias Hatchett.
So you reinvented yourself with a new name.
Yeah, it's reinvented. That's where the Hatchett. That's where the names come from. The Hatchett. You know, it was my business. I changed. And
the reason I'm asking you these questions is because if you don't tell your story, someone else will invent one for you.
Oh, well, that's been happening anyway. Do you know what I mean?
So I want you to tell your story, and I'll ask you these questions. So
your
name's
name's
Benjamin Wood. You changed it.
No, Benjamin, not Benjamin, bro. It was Ben John. It was Ben John with the little eye. It was Ben John with.
My bad.
But it's Ben Hatchett straight. It's Ben Hatchett.
Okay.
Depot. That's my official name. Do you know what I mean? I have my reasons why I changed it. You know, like you say, you know, you could call that reinventing.
And what did you get an IPP for?
Well, so there was a few charges. So I was recalled. So in 2017, I was convicted for knife crime. And if you heard a certain individual on the internet talking about slashing kids for trainers, that's a load of bollocks. Yeah, it was. I was set upon on the airborne in Eastbourne by a bunch of guys, a bunch of Albanians. Actually, was actually alright with once upon a time. We was actually alright with his friends, but you know, teenage, different areas, things happen. They set upon me. All of a sudden they got off, they started running. My pals come chasing down, one of them handed me the knife. I kicked one of the legs, I caught one of them, and you know, I attacked him with a knife. You know, which is it's obviously, I don't know, when it comes to knife crime, it's just I'm talking this and I'm just looking at weapons now, knives are, it's shameful what I did, you know. It's young, you live a certain life. That comes with that life, and that's the consequences, and that's what the young ones you need to hear. It's, you know, this ain't GTA. You know, when you do it, the consequences come. I was given a 4-year, 11-month sentence for that. You know what I mean? So I was given 4-year, 11-month sentence for that. I went to, kept my nut down in prison. Most young offenders kept my head down. I got out in 2010 because I received the EPP. So where like in my teens, in space of 2 years, like 15 to 17, I was just getting nicked all the time, but I was completely lost.
Yeah.
I had no goal-driven ambition or nothing. I was just on one, drinking, fighting, showing off, sex. Do you know what I mean? I was just fucking on one, just the road, just on one. Like, I was a nice kid, but just had no guidance. I didn't know what I was doing. I had nothing to put my energy into. I was just down and out. I was done. So, in space of 2 years, getting nicked all the time, mate. Fucking nicking cars, fucking doing like a commercial little burglary. Do you know what I mean? Just do you know what I mean? Just all the people just on one. But most of my thing was always, I was never a money orientated person. I was never chasing money. Mine was all like just like drunken violence or getting into that sort of stupidness. That was me. So I served 2.5 years out of that extended EPP, extended sentence. Got out in 2010. I was out for 7 months. There was a fight in a pub. Yeah. No, I never hit this kid that night. I never hit this geezer that night. There was a group. It kicked off in a bar called BN21 in Eastbourne. And it kicked off, I had a white t-shirt with some little logo. When you're known in your area, a small town like Eastbourne, the police, I mean, you ain't getting off. You're not. It's a fight. Yeah. You've got a lot of history for violence. Obviously, 2 and 2, 4, innit? So obviously, I just got straight away charged. When you're licensed, you're charged. You're recalled. If you're bailed, you might have half a chance because they might have a meeting. Wait till. No. But once you're charged, they let you out. They charge me. They bail me though. But once you're charged, you're getting recalled, bro. Yeah. 100%. And that's what happened. 2 days later, police are looking for you. Got recalled. Got into prison. Lewis prison. They called me the ringleader because there was a staff, the smoking sensation women. That was, there was a lot of phones and drugs in prison. This is 2010 as well. It ain't like as easy it was as it is now. Like you see now with all these smartphones and all that. Do you get what I mean? These were like the lipstick phones. Yeah. Do you remember them? So these were like the lipstick phones.
Zankos.
Is that what they call it? Zamco. We just call it that. Was it Motorola? Was it Samsungs? It's Samsungs, isn't it? You got the old lipstick ones.
Oh yeah.
That's the ones where
I don't remember them. I just remember the little Zanko ones.
They were just after. They were just after.
And the HMPs.
Yeah, they were just after me. Like Beat the Boss ones. That's what they call them.
Beat the Boss.
Yeah, literally just sounds like just after. We had just the lipstick ones. Easy to fucking plug, mate. Do you know what I mean? So we was getting them in. We was getting them in the Amber Leaf packets. Obviously now you can't smoke in prison. Back then you could. So we had all the Amber Leaf packets. Lunchtime, allegedly, the staff would go out, pick the packages up, get the parcels, come back. This that other. One guy from Worthing, they know they are family in Worthing, wear a straightener because he got things over the wall with Lewis. Yeah. So I can say all these things out there about the amount of Lewis and all that, but I've never spoke about these things. I've never tried and glamorise it and all that. But you'll see after this, not one person will ever come out and discredit this. Do you get what I'm saying? So me and his family from Worthing, I know full well. Me and him had a little straightener. It was about parcels come over the wall. We was getting it there. Shit escalated. Something else escalated. One of the lads, there was loads of Langley boys and Brighton and Hastings boys. Normally in that Lewis prison, you stick together. It's a local jail. We locals stick together. So it was just easy pickings. I was 21. I had that wing of smash. I was on the server in that as well. Some other guy got badly attacked with a bit of wood and a tail leg. So the wing orderly, I found out it was actually a wing orderly grass. I threw my name in. So it was actually Ben that went in this hole that did this. Because I didn't know who did it. That never was me. But I'm saying like I was named and whatever. Yeah. Cell got spun. 2 phones they found. Like we had it so under the toilet. Under the toilet, you could pop. This is when you could pop it, the little fucking metal ring coming underneath, pull it out tight, going round anyway. Fuck it, they found it anyway. Do you know what I mean? I still had one in me though, so I was quite lucky. I still had one in me. But as I do the wanding, I managed to just get swerved, getting the wanding out of the cell. I don't know, but I got swerved anyway, so I got lucky. And they took the 2 in there, but I still had one. I had to go wait in the showers. Well, they searched him, and then they searched the cell. You're waiting in the showers. Went back and then get wanded back. So I still had one. Do you know what I mean? But they found 2 and SIM cards, no drugs. And then, so where was I? So that was that. And then obviously when that person got attacked, that's when we got spun. I got blocked off. Now, on the nicking, I think this was a Saturday or Friday, but the date on the nicking sheet didn't match up with the date of the actual date. Do you get what I'm saying? So if it was meant to be Friday, 20th, whatever, it was actually on a Saturday. That's a technicality, Billy. That's the most lucky. Listen, I'm so unlucky when it's come to crime cases now. I've been stung like, that's right. I got a technicality there. Do you get what I mean? So I actually got a fucking lucky. It's not like where I've got luck, I've got a technicality. Do you know what I mean? But they weren't having that, bro. They're not sticking on the G-double-O goods.
Yeah, GOED.
Yeah, so it's kept me on that and got me shipped to Winchester. I went to Winchester. I had dramas there because of things in Lewis. Obviously I got caught. I got tagged up in Winchester. I was like, some geezer paid because I've mentioned it before. Like fucking living on sounds talk shit about Subutex now. Some geezer got paid Subutex to slash me. I don't know how they've actually worked out that I was taking Subutex. Fucking retards. Like, bro, like they paid obviously slash me out for the Subutex because of like dramas. So that's when I started catching these shots. So I know your question. I know I'm going on a bit, but I'm getting to it. I'm clearing everything out. You know what I mean? You're like, where we going with this? But you know, there's a lot of things going around, so I'm putting it.
They're
straight,
just asking questions, waiting for answers. People will be asking these.
Now I've got the beef in Winchester now. Yeah. Allegedly someone got took hostage, false imprisonment. That's one charge. I got slashed. The person in the showers got slashed back. I had a GBH charge for that. You know, it was like 30 odd stitches on his back in Winchester prison. I did the roof in Winchester and they had me block and I managed to go out, pop the cage. So I said all these things. It's been in the papers. And fucking, do you not think any like from screws or anything would come out and be like, this kid's talking shit? Do you get what I'm saying? So all these people try and discredit it. It's like, come on, bro. Am I really going to be some sort of cunt coming out and saying all this? Well, I did the roof in Winchester. Bam, that's when obviously, so that's another charge. Obviously the one at Elmley, the same sort of thing, barricaded up all the association room and all that. I did it in Elmley. It's on the roof. I got a GBH charge, got the false imprisonment. There was a nonce on the yard in which tower was it? It was Elmley, Highdown. It was Elmley and Highdown are built exactly the same, bro. They're like exactly the same prison, like it's same structure, same everything, same Spurs. I'm trying to think which one it was, Highdown, Elmley. Anyway, I did another fuckery there as well to some other geezer. It was a sex offender. I did some fuckery to him. That was another charge. You know, I got that down to AVH luckily. So there's all these charges now. I've been building up. So they sectioned me. Yeah, they sent me to a medium secure ward because they wanted to find out if I was right in the head. Because they're a bit like, what's this kid on? Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't need medication. In prison, they can't force medicate her. Yeah? So what they do, they send you to like for, you know, psychiatric treatment. They get you down healthcare for a bit. But obviously I writ off the healthcare association. I barricaded it all up and that. So I was like, what the fuck's this kid on? Do you know what I mean? He's on one, isn't he? They sent me to a medium secure place called Hellenite Centre. Now when I'm there, I've got these charges hanging over me. They're trying to figure out whether I've got like, you know, if I'm not right in the head. So me and some others, I fucking regret this one as well. Me and these others, and I still feel shameful for this one, like proper. We attempted to escape. There was a key that worked, you know, and people ended up getting took, like people got grabbed up and all that. Not myself, but you know, he's still involved, you know. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm still under the Hellenite now, so I have to be careful what I can't say, because the Hellenite have told me about this as well. Although it's only December, I'm under them, so I can't get full in detail. Long story short, it was an escape attempt. Yeah, escape attempt. It wasn't a nice escape attempt either. That's why I don't speak about it. One, I have to be careful because that's like my probation, that's my team, so I have to be careful what I can and can't say. So that's another charge, really. So you've got GBHs, you've got escape attempts, you've got false imprisonment, which is hostage. You've got all these charges, yeah? Now, if I wasn't getting sections, because obviously that was after that, they sent me to Broadmoor, because after the escape attempt, I had to go back to prison, but now I'm high secure now. Now I've got escape on my record with false imprisonment, GBHing, yeah? I'm hitting Cat D now. Not Cat D, I wish. I'm hitting Cat A. I wish it was fucking Cat D. Never seen Cat D in my life, bro. But no, I mean, so I've hit that category now, yeah? On paper. You know, I'm even in that stupid suit when I'm in jail. Light on at night. Because I have to leave the light on. Because they're going to treat you like a cunt. You've been a cunt, they're going to treat you like a cunt. You leave your light on. You got to sit in that suit. Was it green and fucking yellow? I'm in that. Anyway, I go to Broadmoor. You know, not a couple of months in Broadmoor, they've all said that he's not well. I played it a little bit as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought, you know, the medium school was actually kind of easy ride. It was kind of easy ride, but Broadmoor was hell, bruv. Yeah, I was like, no, I'm fine, bro. There was none of it, mate. Do you know what I mean? Stick needles in your ass and everything. Broadmoor's hell. Yeah. So they're saying I was antisocial personality disorder. They think I think it was Winchester. They think I had a psychotic break. You know, in psychosis. So the sentence they all recommended, the doctors, was a section 3741, which is indefinite. We spoke about it, so I can go back over it.
Yeah.
It's indefinite. IPP, for those lads in prison, you know what we're talking about. IPP, it's like, so every year you can apply for parole, which is like in the hospital world, you can apply for tribunal. I'm 21 with indefinite sentence. Obviously, everyone knows, not 2 years later, I got kicked out of Broadmoor. Obviously, there was a riot. That is, I'll speak about in the Amazon, in the documentary. But that's fact. I was never... You don't get transported from them places. When you're in them places, like, listen, I did get kicked out because I read people's sentimental, personal index offences, me and one other. So we was kicked out. Yeah? None of this fucking whatever people are chatting shit. There's only two, like, only people kicked out of Broadmoor since Shai Bronson was myself. That's a fact. Yeah? Not because I'm some fucking big loony who was going wrong on that one. Yeah, I was involved with the riot, yeah. Yeah, I did start it. Yeah, and when I was in the office, I read people's paperwork. When you read that, I've got too much knowledge on what you're in for, what he's in for, do you know what I mean? So either that puts them at risk from me from like bullying, or that puts me at risk from them because I know their personal shit. I know you're a baker. I know you're a wronging. I know you're a rapist. I know you're this. I know you're a cunt. Do you get what I'm saying? They could not leave me there. That's why I was kicked out. I haven't even come out and said all this, Billy. You got the fucking... Sorry, man. I'm going to get animated now, innit? Because it's been holding up a little bit. I ain't put it out there. I was saving it for the Amazon. I didn't even put it out there on James's either. So listen, I've given you proper. That is the truth behind it. That is why I was kicked out.
Man, fair play.
Chill out now.
Yeah, it's it.
You're forgetting the water, mate.
That
Do you know what I mean? What happened to the waters, mate? Normally waters. That's like podcast 101, mate. When you do a podcast, always make sure they got the waters.
I've even got a tea bag.
Oh.
Anyway, so
Right,
well, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. So going forward, you've had all the dramas. You're going to get that.
Yeah.
You know, people asking questions, and I had to ask you because other people.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you're me.
I think the reason I did ask those questions because when I've looked at the comments, there was questions asked.
Yeah.
If there's questions that asked and answers needed to be delivered, so thank you for delivering that.
That's it, man.
So what's going on with you these days now? So what's you're fighting next month, aren't you?
Yeah, fighting next month, 11th December. You know, I believe you said you'll put the link in the description box.
Yeah.
You know, it's £10. It's better to get in now because it's pay-per-view. There's 20 bare knuckle fights. You know, even my mate old Chazzo's fighting on the show. You got some other big names. You know, the BFBA really trying to take over. I'll be fighting on the main card myself that night. Yeah, so I've signed. Yeah, done a 3-fight contract with them. You know, it's exciting. It's new. You know,
This is bare knuckle stuff.
Huh?
This is bare knuckle.
This is bare knuckle.
I don't think I've ever even had a fight with lots of bare knuckle. You know, it's always.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? It's my debut, bro. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, if you grow on, it's probably like growing up in the streets. You're just fighting with your fists, aren't you? Basically.
That's it. I mean, man, it's time winning souls and you know what I mean. That's how I'm seeing it. But
the only time you know it's controlled is when you're throwing a pair of gloves on in the ring and it's a boxing and it's ABA and it's NABCs and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's nothing new, is it really?
I don't know. You know, shout out to BFBA and those involved. You know, it was actually a boxer that actually sort of got me into actually. And I don't really shout him out, and I should shout him out. I'm gonna shout you out and. Seamus Devlin, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seamus Devlin. It was actually him, like, I mean,
Seamus Devlin?
Yeah.
Yeah, he follows me.
Yeah. Shout out to Seamus, there you go. Like, it was him actually, just talking to him on Facebook and that. It was sort of played out, like getting a fight, would you want to fight this? So, because when you sort of get a platform in that, yeah, and you get to boxing, do you know how many people come up, oh, you want to fight this, you want to fight that? You know, I did the one. You know, I've only ever had one boxing fight, man. I get every Tom, Dick and Harry trying to call me out and that, bro. It's like, fucking hell, like, do you know what I mean? And then I just thought with a bare knuckle, I just think,
see, this seems to be the in thing, really, doesn't it, with podcasters? Everyone wants to call each other out and have a fight.
I can't say I've been nearly, I'm at the full force of that anyway, you know what I mean? We're even going down
lad, I can't be asked. People love a bit of drama. I can't, but too fucking old to be jumping in the ring. I'll just bite your ear off. You know what I mean?
I did it, you know, my attention was good at the time, but, you know, it all went wrong. And I've learned from it, that's the main thing. Learned from it, back on a positive, you know, physically, mentally, I'm very positive back and feeling it coming back.
Yeah, because you've struggled with your demons, haven't you?
100%. And I ain't been getting it right. I've been a bit of a cunt. Do you know what I mean? Like saying, especially with the YouTube stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like even people that have entertained me, even James, I thought, you know, to a point I was a bit of a cunt, really. Do you know what I mean? And all he ever did was like, you know, support me. So you know, for that, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. And he seems to get a bit of an hard time as well. Yeah, James. You know,
I've got nothing. Like I said, I've shouted him out the bad blood. I've shouted him out here, and I've shouted him out a lot now. So, you know, sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we say things we shouldn't have. We shouldn't mean. You know, and
it is.
I've got nothing but love and respect for James.
I think what happens is you kind of cultivate a few feelings, and it becomes fucking really like imagined in your mind. And I see that a lot. There's a lot of people who suffer with psychosis and mental health and the insecurities and jealousies and envies. And I think to myself, do you know what? I've got that list. I've had that list. I'll give you that list.
Yeah.
I've shared every feeling that you felt and that you're feeling right now and going through it and delivering. But it's like you've just got to go, you know, it reminds me of how I used to be. Yeah. It does. It reminds me of how I used to be. And
can you relate when I'm saying these things? Can you relate then?
Yeah, I do. You know what? As you go through the system, and I mean, when I was at your age, at that age in my 20s, I was down a block. I was constantly segregation units, prison to prison to prison. I ended up in the worst fucking shitholes in the UK. It was horrible, and they were all due to my own like consequences. I was accountable for my own behaviour. I wouldn't admit it at the time. It was easy to blame someone else. Oh, it's me ma's fault because we were brought up and beans on toast and we fucking never had nothing. It was the police's fault. It was that screw's fault. It was this, that, the other. It was because I never had a boss parents. Blamed it on everything, but the fact that like I had a choice and I was accountable. So I had this bitterness, this hatred, you know, and I was very, very sensitive. You know, so anyone say anything to me and I felt it. You know, so I can imagine like if you haven't like matured or worked on yourself and then you're getting comments and trolls and stuff, I just go,
I brought on myself, man. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the main thing. I brought on myself, you know. But you know, it is what it is now. You know, I've learned. You know, I've still got a great following. Do you know what I mean? Regardless, I get the odd trolls and whatever. You know, a lot of people pay, but I still got a great following. I mean, you see, you know, I still get solid, decent viewings and that, depending on the content.
As you're a good kid, I wouldn't have you on here if you didn't. I wouldn't have you on here if I thought you were, you know, a fucking owl ass. I just swear you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, you know, you've never give me any reason to not.
No, that's it. I mean, like, we speak as well. Like, do you know what I mean? There's been a couple of times we spoke and all that, and you know, you don't think, I've got nothing but respect for you. You know what I mean? It's like, do you know, and again for James as well, yeah. Like, you know, people say this, that, other. Like, James has probably got a couple of reasons why he could just not want to talk to me. But even when I messaged him, I was just going for a bit of a struggle a few weeks, but no, more than that now, couple of months back now. Commentary time, around about that time, just after that.
Yeah.
Me and Billy went to this event. I mean, funny night.
Yeah.
Good night. But I was really struggling. I was a bit fucked. And I know James's story, so I asked James. I messaged him, and he rang straight up. You know, he actually reached out to me not time and said, "I see a video about mental health and I was struggling." And I think you see that video, and I was just really, really struggling, man. And I was making my situation worse by, you know, masking it, as you do, not as you do, but as I was doing, which was, you know, wrong, but as how I was dealing with it. And bless James, he rang, you know, he said some advice, but I'm doing this, doing that, and, you know, step by step, I'm getting back there, feeling positive, feel physically, mentally, I'm getting healthy on that again.
Well, that's good, because when I seen you in Coventry, you weren't yourself at all, you know.
No, struggling, mate, struggling.
You were even on the same table as me, you know, there was loads of, like, there was no communication, you were avoiding eye contact, and I knew you're in your own little demon there at the time, so I'll let you be, you know, and that's it, you've got to reach out before someone reaches in. If you're not reaching out, and that's what's important. If you know, if you've got stuff going on, it doesn't help if you keep it to yourself. The worst prison you can be in is the self-made prison of your mind. Never mind all these people going, "Oh, he's done this and he's done that." He's being fucking that's the worst.
Yeah, that's it. That's
the worst bit of segregation going on.
No, you know, I'm going through it. You know, he's going through it. You know, like I say, I'm coming out the other end. You know, and I think that's why I wanted to take the PK. But I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to push myself. You know. People said about my fight. It was my first fight, you know. I thought someone was over 20 bouts. I mean, it was my debut. He's over 20 bouts, mate. He's a very experienced fighter. I got the win. Just, you know, I've learned a lot about reserve and energy and that. People just getting on to me. It's like, oh, like, half these people never even been in the ring and that anyway. I would just sit home, fucking Stella, kebab. Oh, yeah, he should have done it, he should have done that. Like, fuck off, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I start to do something, do it. Do you get what I mean? And, you know, regardless of what people think, that's a fact. It's like, you know, a few people have said that. Whenever I say I'll do it. And I'm game enough to do it. Do you get what I mean? So, you know, and I think that's why I want to do the bare knuckle, to like, it's another challenge, it's another pushing myself, you know. I just feel like I could have still been in a box now. Bill, do you know what I mean? You know, to an extent I still am mentally, but I could still be in a box. But so all these sort of things, I thought, why don't I do it? You know, I'm making memories, I'm living experience, I'm catching up for experiences that I've never experienced. You know, it's like I had my first holiday, which was amazing, but unfortunately a lot of the bad trolling started happening at that time. Yes, people have done apology videos, but you know, shout out, I still like the calls you're doing, shakes down, gloves up. You know, didn't like what was happened, but with men we spoke.
See, I don't know much. I keep away from all.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that.
I keep away from all that stuff.
To be sick, mate. Makes me sick. Like what people would say.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Nah. It's not entertainment for me. It's a bit of.
Some of them haven't done apology videos. Some of them never will.
Yeah.
The ones who are actually educated and gone and looked into it have been man enough to admit apology. But you can't tarnish someone's name because people still comment shit like that now.
Yeah.
It was wrong what they've done. Especially with someone who went out their way to try and help support this. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's cool. It is what it is. It's done. I've learned from that. I won't ever get involved in any charities. I won't support nothing ever again now. Yeah. Which is a shame because there was one young girl I was going to try and help, getting a sponsored tattoo and all that, trying to do it. But because of that, I just pulled out. And all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'm not leaving myself open to be fucking tarnished again. No, we'll never do it again. But now I just focus on Scotland. I'm going to be doing my boxing badges 1 and 2. At the gym, do you know what I mean? It's again, things work out. That's how law of attraction works out. You know, I always want to do things like that with the kids. Did the boxing, you know, now like coach, so I'm not too bad on the pads. So I'm gonna start trying to do my level 1s and 2s at that gym with the young kids and that. Man.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you see yourself doing? It's a big one.
Your podcast skills have come up since this year, innit? You know what I mean? Fuck it up. 5 years. My missus is watching, so I'm definitely saying married within that time. I was engaged, so married.
Her name's Cher.
Yeah, shout out Cher.
I'm glad I got the right name there, kid.
No, shout out Cher, man. Do you know what I mean?
So you look to be married, you look to be.
Yeah, I want to be married. I definitely want to sort my driving out. You know, I'm still learning a bunch and still doing part time. You know, a bit of part time work. At the minute, can't go over the 16 hours because of benefits. I'm in the middle of moving up here. You know, I want to get and do the badges, working with the kids. My passion is working with the young kids and trying to show the law of attraction. It really is, because I don't want, you know, I'm not like the others that claim to be before. I am 100% and I am legit. I just don't want a lot of the young ones having to experience what I did, what you did. When sometimes it can just take a talk, or sometimes it just takes someone putting a seed in your head or building you up, and it could start the whole ripple effect. It can probably change someome's life.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
This is see. I mean,
that's what I like to do.
See, like, I have asked myself a few questions about like why I do this, and for me, like I said to you earlier on, the first podcast, it's quite therapeutic.
Yeah.
I identify. I don't come out with a load of questions. I'm quite transparent.
Yeah.
This is how it is. This is the question. Tell your story, and we'll identify, and we can relate. Now, I hope that with sharing my experience and my wealth of wisdom that I believe that I do have, that'll encourage someone else to open their mouth and reach out and get help. And I believe that's happened because I get messages and loads of DMs about like, Bill, you're inspiring, and I feel like
it's nice when you get
it is nice, but because I've suffered with self-esteem over the years. I suffered with that imposter syndrome. Now I don't. I feel like I can give an answer back to them, but might be the answer they want.
Yeah.
But it's the answer that I was given, and it helped me. So
yeah,
that's all it's about. It's for me. It's a positive way.
Yeah.
Of sharing a message of hope to people out there who feel hopeless.
That's what I want to do, man. But that's with the kids. I just want to get in there. I've been there, and to be able to sort of like get in and say some things that can have a difference, that can make a difference. That'd be amazing. Do you know what I mean? I'm not chasing someone else. I'm not chasing my stability because I know where I've come from. It's just I'm lucky to be out.
No, but it's a shame that it's a shame, right? put a butt in there. It's a shame that you got people out there that want to put you down because they feel less than. You know, they feel inadequate, insecure, and to make them feel better, they want to humiliate and embarrass and shame, you know, and expose and this. And that's sad that we live in a world like that. It's sad. It is. It really saddens me that we live in a world of bitterness, jealousy, and envy, where we should come together collectively. You know, especially like the likes of ourselves, who've had that way of life, you know, and offer something that's going to benefit a young kid. We can intervene in their life and go, do you know what? Because no one ever intervened in mine. I said, Bill, this is the best way to live. It took me decades before there was a lot of services out there, which there is now, that can provide all this stuff, you know, and you've just got to put your hand up and ask for it. So, yeah, I just leave them to the sidelines. Yeah. What you need to do, which is what I'm looking at now, is focusing on, like, you've had the experience, you've learned a few things, it wasn't good. No. Put your head all over the gaff, it was a bit shit, you know, move on. Yeah. You've had that one.
That's it, man. But after the fight, especially the Chazza, you know, if we win this, he wins his, the February fight, I think it'll be big, because, you know, we're both names, especially on Instagram. You know, that's probably my biggest following, that, and on TikTok now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Old TikTok.
You're on TikTok?
I mean, I've hit like 1 million views and all that on TikTok, man. I mean, my missus just bouncing, bantering each other, mate. Like,
I don't even know what it is.
Mate, you need to do it, mate. It's the way forward. You know, even the others, I think James on there, Marvin. But no, do it, mate. It's all platform. It's all good promotion. There's a big thing on there for podcasts as well. A lot of clips and all that. I think you're even on there, but I've even seen you on there. So you're actually on TikTok. Not an account, but, you know, you as a person are on TikTok. I've seen it. So, yeah, get yourself on them. It's a good one. But, you know, I want to, you know, we'll be focused on the channel. I want to learn how to do a bit of editing and that. You know, when I can, I want to go out into the streets, and I'm going to mix it up. You know, obviously, you know, Power Man, Jack Jones, he does the pranking sort of stuff. He just made a comeback now. He's done it, and he give me some good advice where I should go on my channel. You know, I'm going to sort of do more active podcasts in the streets, different areas, and go up and, you know, talking, just doing podcasts with people and trying to, you know, talk about that and law of attraction. Just taking little bits from what other people are doing and trying to do my own thing.
Because you struggled, didn't you, with what you actually wanted to do? You were like, oh, that's it, I'm giving up the game, I'm leaving YouTube and leaving this. But you're still there.
I'm still there. I'm still here. I'm still in the background, mate. You know, I give up the podcast. I've stopped the podcast. I have stopped the podcast. I was going to fully come off YouTube altogether, but then I just thought, you know, why am I giving something I enjoy doing? Do you know what I mean? I that's the truth. I do.
Don't give up your platform.
No, I won't. You know, I've got this. You know, I'm going to be releasing next week some of the stories about when I was in Bournemouth, about some of the people, because I was around a lot of high profile people, like, you know, when I was in the places. So I'm not talking about their true crime, their cases and all that, just my experience with them, like how I see them as when I was away. I'm going to do that, but I'm only going to do about 10.
And that's positive. And I feel, you know, this podcast, right, and just so people out there, don't take this personal. We're not here to attack anyone or give anyone a hard time. Or I've always said this. I won't share about someone because they're not here to defend themselves. You know, so I'm not going to say you talk about this guy and you talk about that girl. It's not about that.
That's why I kept a lot of names out of my mouth.
And I appreciate that.
I don't want to go back down that path.
We did discuss this prior to you coming on, and we did make that decision that we're not here to talk about other people. Other people can have that effect on you where you know it's made you fucking feel a bit shit, like, and piss you off. But
it is what it is. I mean, it's done.
No, don't use that. Is what it is. Fucking show, mate. It's fucking.
It's
shit.
It's
that's what it
shit.
is.
I've gone through the shit. People put me through the shit.
That's just a get out. Hey, that is a get out clause. It is what it is, mate. I don't even know what it is. What it is means.
It is fucking
someone says it is what it is. What the fuck does it is what it is mean?
Leave in the comments. What is it? Tell us what it is.
Because it is what it is. I tell you what it is. It's fucking baffling. That's what it is. Moving on. So, lad, you're doing all right. Right now, you've been clean for a few weeks, haven't you?
No, I've always been clean. Do you know what I mean? I've always been clean. Obviously, do you know what I mean? My life.
Mental clean.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, mentally, I feel a lot more intact. Do you know what I mean? Mentally, I feel a lot more better, a lot more focused, and that. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like it's this depression, anxiety. You know what I mean? It's my anxiety will trigger my depression. Depression, I go in, I'm demon, and you know, I mask it, and then like I just, do you know what I mean? I just struggle. You know, that's when mental health really kicks in, and it's like you just want to give up, and then you're making irrational decisions. Do you know what I mean? Right, and then you just that was against. Do you know what I mean? You go in that little cave and that as well. But the thing is, I'm a fighter man, Billy. Do you know what I mean? Like that's not me. And you know it is, but it's not. It's like it's what it is, Dan.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm a prideful that person. Do you know what I mean? I'm very honest. And I'm very emotional. You know, emotions are one of my big things. You know,
where your eyes on your sleeve.
And it's always, you know, always controlling my emotions to be my struggle, and that's what's got me in trouble. You know, I control it now. I don't go into violence, outbursts, like bollocks. You know, but it's more like myself. You know, wear my sleeve, getting emotional, and then getting upset and hiding myself away and depression and that was it. Before I used to go call carnage to get myself in trouble.
You've had a fucking, you know, the contributing factors growing up are really tough. You know, you've had a difficult upbringing. Like, there's a lot of people out there that have been through similar experiences, and it hasn't been easy. You know, so you're coming into adulthood and you don't even know, you haven't even had a childhood.
No, that's it.
You know, that's the truth. You've come in to become an adult, and where's your childhood gone? Like, you've been beaten, you've been, you know, all that's gone on. It's been horrible. So you're trying to live in a world now where there's, you know, you're trying to trust people. You know, you've got all this fucking, these feelings going on, the anxiety, depression. Someone says something, it can attack you in a way that other people don't believe. Yeah. You know, it comes through the back door of your mind.
It comes back to the comments and that as well, man. That's what it fucked
up my head. So it must have been horrible then for you.
Of course, man. But then I'm entertaining it. I'm digging myself.
Was you commenting back, like?
Oh, sometimes, yeah. Like, sometimes it's stupid, man. Because it's emotional person, Billy. You get what I mean? Because I've got this mad fucking story. I'm not your picture, like, tough guy, geezer who's kicked at a, but do you know what I mean? I'm not your Bronson.
Yeah, but lad, you know what it's like?
I'm emotional, dude. I'm an emotional kid. Do you know what I mean?
It's like you drinking the poison, right, and nothing they die from it. Because you're just full of resentment and bitterness, and you want to react, and you want to let them know that this is what happened. They're not asked. They couldn't give a fuck, right? Once you bite, they've got you on that hook, and once you're on that hook, you're not getting up, because that's it, and they're sitting back eating spaghetti hoops, fucking roaring off you. Trust me. So but don't get me wrong, I've years ago I've done it myself. But just lucky that social media wasn't about. It was more like the landers. I see, you know what I see it like, right? I see like people who are behind these computers, right? It's like years ago. Remember at the windows, you shouting out the windows, and someone says, "I'll see you in the morning, lad," right? Right, when the door opens and you go down to the park, the door slams shut, they won't come out, right? But there are cases at the window. The window warriors, right? I get loads of them. I've seen it all my life. People in jail shouting the odds off, I'm going to fuck you up in the morning. All right, mate, I'll see you when the door opens. You get to the pad, they've gone on numbers. They've run down the block, or they've been shanghaied, or they're in court. Right, there's a reason, right? So it is what it is.
It is what it is. Come on.
So yeah, just
let's go.
You know, but
I don't entertain it all now. Like, I did the podcast with Terry Stone.
Yeah.
And we was talking about trial. We was talking about Katie Price and Harvey. Do you know what I mean? I've seen some videos of Harvey. And do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, you know, things might be funny or whatnot, but there's still some. Do you know what I mean? It's all that. And like, what to get to a point, it was like a lot of these people with these accounts that want to dig you, dig me, dig these people, dig these from the heart, make these things. Like, it's like a lot of them. It'd be good if they had like a locating all these people, these accounts, if they're on like their phones connected. This is what Terry was saying. They're saying like they should ping like the location. It's like, oh, you know, he's a cunt, he's this, he's that, or Ben Woods, or whatever they want to call me now. Like, oh, he's in Costa, like literally 10 foot away or something. Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? It'd be good if I had all this. I know, like, they were saying with Boris Johnson the other day. I posted it, you know, on Instagram, about they're going to start coming down on the trolling and all that. Like, but it should, I think, you know, all email accounts should be attached to the phone or somehow. Do you know what I mean? Like that, like how like Snapchat do it, or WhatsApp with location. Do you know? Maybe not. Maybe it's just, maybe I've just been on the receiving end of it, and I'm just talking like fucking. I don't know if I'm making sense. That is what it is, bro.
No, do you know?
I had to point in my head what he was saying. It wasn't me who said it. It was like Terry was saying it to me on a podcast. I can't remember it word for word. How he sort of worded it was like.
See, the reason I'm asking these questions, and the reason I'm going down this route, is because I know it's affecting you.
Yeah, as
an individual. It's affecting your mental health, right? And it's not only affecting you; it's affecting a lot of other people out there. The shame, right? And the reality of it is, you know, when you bite.
Yeah, and that's why I had to stop doing. That's why I've had to stop. You know.
Do you feel better now for not doing for not reacting.
Getting caught up. I think, you know, my whole thing, not getting caught up with it too much. I think, you know, I found my niche. I know what I'm going to do with it now. You know, it doesn't help when you've got people chatting shit, making lies up about you. You know, because then people come onto your channel and they start saying all these sort of things like, bro, like, what the fuck? You're talking like as if you even know me, and you're going on the opinion of someone who's dug how many people out or digging. Do you know what I mean? It's
Lads,
like,
I've had
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't,
like,
mate. I've had people talk about me recently, and I know he's going to watch this, and it's like I've got new relatives that I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
That these kids invented. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter, mate.
Yeah.
I wish people well. You know, I wish them all the best. I don't wish them one any harm.
And that's what I'm going back to be. Gratitude and positivity. Taking my channel, I'm gonna do the true crime and then go out in the streets positive. You know, I'm not gonna mention these people's names. I'm keeping out. I don't want to get into any more like beefs. You know, I want to just try and do positive, like I did off the back of James. When I come off that, it's all positive. Get a positive ripple effects out there. PJW, when I have this bare knuckle fight, a lot of people writing me off because of the boxing, but we're gonna see about that. You know, you're gonna see it different. You're gonna see it different when I'm in this game. And then we've got the big fight, you know what I mean? So people can't say you can't go out and achieve. You know, if I'm going to get that big fight with Chazza, if you're watching this, I'm going to bounce you off the canvas, bro. Watch. You know what I mean? Come on. But, you know what I mean? And, you know, Chazza's getting Chazza for, like, who, you know, would a lot of people take on the ex-pro with his calibre for their third ever fight? I don't think they would. A lot of people would like Johnny pick and choose this, that, the other. Do you know what I mean? I've got the game to go and do it. Win, lose, it don't matter. You know, I've got a heart and I'm game. And it's about getting back to that positivity and that now and delivering good fucking podcasts like today. Do you know what I mean? And inspiring and getting that good positive ripple effects. I've been out, they've come out, it's been up, it's been down, it's been emotional, it's been learning curves. You know what I mean? And then now it's about just, it's like, no, fall down 9, get up 10, you know what I mean? You know, everything's not going to be perfect, man. You got to think, coming out a long, I was away a long time, bro. A long fucking time.
10 years, mate, it's a long time.
Of course, you know, so coming out and trying to settle and doing this, everything's sort of exciting. It's like you see a pick and mix. It's like, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's what's been coming out, and then I'll come out in lockdown. So then I'm still learning. Like I say, I want to sort my drive. I really do. You know, things ain't cheap now at the minute. Trying to learn how to budget, trying to do this. You know, it's difficult. And I've got some part-time work coming. Again, it's difficult because the place that I'm still performing to Edinburgh, I'm still in sanctuary housing. You know, you have to pay £300 a week rent if you're working, so you have to get the hours right. Do you know what I mean? It's all learning to me, you know, and I could get things wrong accidentally, and then I can.
It's going to take you about 10 years to get on your feet.
Mate, it's going to take
Trust me, right? It's going to take you as long as you're out away.
Yeah.
To get your shit together.
No, cool.
Like, and that's coming from someone who's had to go through all that.
Yeah.
Right, and I've been in shared accommodation. I've had to pay budget and rent and all that, and it's been difficult. I had to go through the driving lessons, and you know, I've done it, and I've achieved it.
Yeah.
I've drive a car, I've got a house, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time. You've got to work for it. It doesn't come overnight.
Yeah.
And that stuff, you know, it will come. Just do the right thing, stay positive, keep focused, and you're gonna be fine.
No, so I will.
You know, it's and I appreciate you coming on, and I always say this, right? Is there anything, we said this last time, any pearls of wisdom, anything you'd say to a younger Ben at you?
I think it was also about drugs, and I was saying, I got trauma on that. The only thing I'd say to a younger Ben at you, we've went through this, man. I've just been trying to educate the law of attraction, and do you know what I mean? I'd say what I say to a lot of kids in that now. I just try and tell them the realness, like, do not be fooled by your mates, like, oh, I'm down with you, I'm backing you. Listen, the truth is it, do you know what I mean? You get locked up, they're all going to fucking snitch, everyone's going to put a statement, and then if you got kids, they'll be trying to shag your baby mum when you're locked up, and that. That's the truth, it, kids. That is the fucking truth. Do not believe in this street card, this, that, the other. Rarely it does exist, that's the truth. I ain't trying to glamorise it, it does. You do find the odd real ones. A lot of the game's bullshit, fake, and you got to remember you're putting a lot of negativity out there. If you can find a better way to channel your energy, if you like violence, fighting, if you're good at selling drugs, get into some sort of trading or something, you find, do you know what I mean? Like, find your inclination and try and channel it correctly, and it can be done, man.
Yeah, and thank you. And I like to say before we finish, like, this podcast has no agenda about, all it is about you. It's not about anyone else. It's not an attack on anyone.
No,
it's
not attack.
We're here to promote your boxing.
The bare knuckle fights.
Bare knuckle fights.
You're going to put a link in the description.
I'm going to put the link in. We're going to get that up as soon as we can.
It's 11th of December. Billy will put it in his description. Yeah, please, you know, £10 pay-per-view. If you leave it too late, it'll go up double to £10. This link comes to me, so, do you know what I mean? Please go on there, please purchase, please support. You know, it's a mad fucking journey. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I'm gonna make the bare knuckle debut. I promise it's gonna be a show. You know what I mean? So please support. You know, it mean everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much with that. I'll leave it there.
Buddy, thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Nice one.